Have you ever stopped to think if there's a real connection between what you do for a living and your spiritual life? Well, today we're going to dive into this really powerful idea that links our material world directly to our spiritual one. And we're going to do it through the story of this one guy and his incredibly desperate prayer. Okay, I really want you to picture this. Imagine a guy on this long, hard journey. He's completely exhausted. He's not just tired. The source describes him as disheveled and dusty. So you can just feel it, right? He's let go of all his pride, all his vanity. And in this moment of just raw, unfiltered humility, he throws his hands up to the sky and just cries out, "Oh Lord, oh Lord." It's the very picture of pure, desperate sincerity. I mean, everything about this scene just screams that his prayer should be answered, like right then and there. He's suffering, he's humble, he's praying his heart out, he's checking all the boxes. Or so you'd think. And this, right here, is the central mystery we're going to unpack. Why would a prayer that seems so perfect just get no response? The answer, it turns out, reveals a fundamental rule about how everything works. So, to solve this puzzle, we have to get our heads around one key concept. It's a single word that unlocks this whole thing. And that word is tayyib. Its meaning is, quite literally, the key to this entire story. Now, the word tayyib is way more than just good. It's this deep idea of being pure, wholesome, completely untainted. Imagine something that's 100% free from any flaw, any negative vibe, any kind of impurity. We're talking absolute, unblemished goodness here. And this is where we get the foundational rule, the law of the land, so to speak. The source text says it plain and simple. God is tayyib and accepts only that which is tayyib. And listen, this isn't framed as a preference, like God would prefer if things were pure. No, it's presented as a spiritual law. It's like trying to mix oil and water. It just doesn't work. The divine, being purely good, can't accept something that's impure. So the bottom line is, our actions, our money, our very selves have to be tayyib if we want them to be accepted. Now you might be thinking, okay, that sounds like a rule for the super spiritual, the saints, the prophets. But what's so powerful here is that the source material makes it crystal clear. This is a command for everyone. It's universal. It applies to you, to me, to everybody, from the highest messengers all the way down to the everyday person. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. Check out the parallel here. On one side, you've got the messengers. We're talking the absolute highest spiritual rank, and they're commanded to eat from the good things, the tayyibat. And then, right next to it, all believers get the exact same command. See, it's not a suggestion. It's a foundational instruction for living a good life, and it doesn't matter who you are. And did you catch the structure in that first command to the messengers? It says, eat from the good things and work righteousness. That "and" is so important. The source is showing us that this link is totally intentional. Eating pure stuff, your sustenance, is presented as the prerequisite. It's the fuel you need to do good things. One directly powers the other. You can't run a righteous engine on impure fuel. Simple as that. All right, so now that we've got this principle of tayyib locked in, let's circle back to our traveler. Because now we have the tools to look past his outward appearance, past his sincere words, and find that hidden barrier that was blocking his prayer. So let's just recap why, on the surface, his prayer absolutely should have been answered. The source points to 4 powerful factors. First, the hardship of his journey. Being on the road like that just breaks down your ego and brings you closer to God. Second, his appearance. Remember, disheveled and dusty, that shows he's completely let go of vanity. Third, he's physically raising his hands, which is this universal symbol of surrender and asking for help. And finally, his insistence. He keeps repeating, "Oh Lord," which shows this deep, desperate sincerity. I mean, all the external signs were just perfect. So with all 4 of those things lined up perfectly, what on earth could be powerful enough to cancel all of that out? What single massive problem could cause the heavens to be silent in the face of such a raw plea? And here it is, the first devastating piece of the puzzle. His food is from an impure source. Despite all his sincerity, the very fuel for his body, his food, was haram. It was forbidden, impure. It completely violates that core principle of tayyib we just talked about. But wait, it gets so much worse. It wasn't just one bad meal. His drink, also from an impure source. The very clothes he was wearing, yep, from an impure source. And then comes the final line, which is just chilling.
He was nourished by the impure. Just think about what that means. His entire being, his blood, his muscles, his energy, it was all built and sustained by stuff that is fundamentally unacceptable. His whole existence was a walking contradiction to the prayer he was making.
And that leads to the powerful conclusion from the source. It's a rhetorical question, right? It's really an exclamation. So how could he be answered? It's basically saying, are you kidding me? Given that his entire physical self was built from a foundation of impurity, how could a pure response from the divine even be possible? It was a complete non-starter from the get-go. Look, this is way more than just some old story about a traveler. It's a really profound lesson that echoes right into our lives today, into our jobs, our finances, and our connection with everything around us. So the big question is, what are we supposed to take away from all this?
Okay, first things first, our source of income matters. And I mean it really matters. It's not just about paying the bills, it's a deeply spiritual thing. The story shows us that the money you use to buy your food, your clothes, it becomes the foundation of your physical life. So if that foundation is tainted, how can anything you build on top of it be pure? It forces us to ask tough questions about our jobs. Is my work creating good in the world? Is it honest? Is it just? Because that's the starting point for everything else. Second, and this is a big one, illicit earnings literally create a barrier between you and your spiritual connection. Think about the traveler. He was doing all the right things on the outside, praying, showing humility, but it was all being nullified. Why? Because the very energy he was using to lift his hands came from an impure source. It's like trying to make a call with no signal. You can say all the right words, but if the connection is blocked, the message just isn't getting through. Illicit money acts like spiritual static. Third, this is a call to be tayyib in, well, everything. It's not just about money. It's a call for purity in our heart's intentions. Like, why are we doing what we're doing? Is it for show or is it for something truly good? It's about purity in our speech. Are we building people up or tearing them down? And, yeah, purity in our body, taking care of ourselves and making sure what we consume is wholesome. The traveler's story is the ultimate example of how you can't separate these things. His impure sustenance corrupted the whole system. And finally, it redefines what gratitude really means. True gratitude isn't just saying thank you for what we have. It's about taking the pure, wholesome provision we've been given and using it to do good. It completes the circle, right? You take in tayyib fuel and you put out righteous action. That is the ultimate way to show you're thankful for the blessings you've received.
So that leaves us with a really tough question to reflect on. The story of this traveler forces us to look past all the things we do and instead look at the things that sustain us. If the purity of our source, our income, our food, our lifestyle, is what truly defines whether our actions are accepted, then what is our source saying about us?